everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, your car? Who look upset? What's going on, Lisa? What's going on, Magnastar? What's going on, Charlie? Hey, Magnificent Gaming. Yeah, after I was gonna be lit. It is what it is. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Mika. So look. Y'all know when I have a lot to talk about, I can't put them all in videos. And I've decided that Tuesdays and Thursdays are just going to be my days that I'm going to go live anyway. So now Tuesdays and Thursdays are my live days. I need to do them anyway. So we're going to do them Tuesdays and Thursdays. And what are you talking about? Your car? You said that man on the thumbnail. You know what? You're going to get me demonetized. Because you know that's what they do. All right. What's going on? Hey, Lord Jammer. What's going on, Dwayne? Your car is going to get me demonetized, okay? Because you know they don't like that. They do not like when you say big M-I-K-E. All right. All right, you guys. So y'all saw the thumbnail. We're going to talk about, Miss Michelle Obama. Okay. Or Mike, as some of y'all call her. However, we're going to talk about Michelle Obama. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about a lot with the dark woke stuff. Okay, I don't know if y'all know about that, but there's a lot going on. It's okay, you call. It's a lot going on with the dark woke stuff. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today, all right? But I want to get into this first because I want to get you guys' opinions on it, all right? What do you guys think of this picture that Eric Trump posted with a Trump 2028 hat? What do y'all think about that? So this right now is sending a lot of people on X in a frenzy, okay? Because they cannot figure out why in the world everybody has this Trump hat. Like, what's going on with the Trump hat? Are y'all getting one? I know, troll of the year, I know. Well, because they are doing this, the Dems are now doing it, okay? So the Dems have come up with their own version. They now have Obama 2028 because they can't come up with their own stuff, all right? Now, here's the thing about it. If you guys remember back when Obama was in office, they always talked about a third term with Barack Obama. And I honestly, truly think the third term was Joe Biden. But that's just my opinion. But they always talked about a third term. And everybody was worried that Barack Obama was trying to be some king. Okay? What's going on worldwide? All right? What's going on, Nick J? So that was actually the left's thing. Like I tell y'all all the time that the left, I'm telling you, the left likes to actually project everything. Anytime you hear anything about Donald Trump, just remember you can go actually look it up and you'll find it in the left. I swear to goodness. But I thought this was hilarious. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And it is actually for sale right now on the official Trump website. Like you can't make it up. Hey, Eric. Go Army. Yes, thank you. Yeah. All right, you guys. All right. So I wanted to start off today talking about something that I've been seeing a lot of. All right. It's this thing called dark woke. All right. And for some reason, the left thinks it's cute. All right. It's called dark woke. So the New York Times wrote a whole piece on it and they put, Ratchet Crockett on the front. They put Ratchet Crockett on the front as if, I guess, she must be the leader of this movement. Now, apparently this movement is basically Democrats trying to do what Trump does with no tact. Like, no tack at all. However, dark woke even sounds cringy, right? So I looked all this stuff up just to see what it was. And pretty much it is the left's attempt on trying to pretty much do what Donald Trump did, okay? So I want to get into what the mainstream media is saying it is, because I couldn't figure out what it was, all right? So here's the heel on this. Here we go.
Brace yourselves, Democratic tastemakers have a new communication strategy, new vibe, if you will. It's called, get this, dark woke. And it just received quite a write-up in the New York Times, which cast Representative Jasmine Crockett as the avatar of this new form of expression, feeling, thing, whatever it is. Crockett, viewers might recall, is gaining a reputation as a more combative Democrat, someone who doesn't politely hold her tongue, but indeed fires back using spicy language. Remember when she clashed with Marjorie Taylor Greene in a House committee meeting? Watch this.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
I'm trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those words.
What you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
Then there was her decision at a Human Rights Campaign Awards dinner to refer to wheelchair-bound Governor Greg Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
I guess dark woke just means being more insulting. Well, the New York Times is working slightly harder to describe whatever this phenomenon actually is. Here I'm quoting from the Times. As liberals try to get their groove back, some party insiders say Democratic politicians have been encouraged to embrace a new form of combative rhetoric aimed at winning back voters who have responded to President Trump's no-holds-barred version of politics. It's an attempt to step outside the bounds of the political correctness that Republicans have accused Democrats of establishing, and it requires being crass but discerning, rude, but only to a point.
What do you guys think about dark woke? What y'all think about that? Like, what y'all think about it? I think it's so cringe. Like, I really do think it's cringe. Like, yesterday, I did a video on Ratchet Crockett over at Jimmy Kimmel's, right? And Jimmy Kimmel just asked, just kept asking her a bunch of questions. She didn't talk about anything, right? And then she called, Elon stupid, as if Elon is not like a rocket scientist, the man who invented PayPal, all of these things, all of this, right? And so when it comes down to it, this is what they're rebranding to, because they're going to move to the extra woke side of their party. Like, they can't do anything else. That's the only part that's actually entertaining, honestly. I find it entertaining. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely find it entertaining. However, that is what I've been seeing this entire time about dark woke. So I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, if you guys think dark woke is a thing that y'all are going to be listening to that. All right. Now, I also wanted to get into something that I saw that I thought was just atrocious. And it was Jamal Bryant. Okay. Now, y'all know Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant is that raggedy pastor down there in Atlanta, Georgia. He used to be here in Maryland, out here in Baltimore. He was raggedy when he was here. He's raggedy down there. However, he is now, I guess, a political operative. He's pushing a brand. He decided that he was going to talk about MAGA and the Republicans. So I want you guys to see what he had to say about MAGA, about the Republicans, and just about the whole brand altogether on the political spectrum. Watch.
Saying nothing, I discovered those of y'all who are from the suburbs, those of y'all that come from a gated community, those of you who live out yonder, you ain't gonna understand this example. But when I used to live with my grandmother in the projects of New York, y'all ain't saying nothing, I discovered something, that roaches only start running when you turn the lights on. As long as the lights are out, they gonna be comfortable eating your cereal. Y'all ain't saying nothing, climbing in your cupboard. But when you turn the light on, all of the roaches gotta start moving. I came to give a warning. Elon Musk, the light is getting ready to come on. Donald Trump, the light is getting ready to come on. JD Vance, the light is getting ready to come on. MAGA, the light is getting ready to come on. Welcome, because the roaches will check in, but they won't check out. The lights are coming on.
I got a question. First of all, hold on. Let me draw it back.
Start running.
What does he have on? What does he have on? Like what is that? Okay, so he's saying that MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump and I guess Elon Musk are all roaches. That's what he's calling them. Okay. Meanwhile, this is the same man who was cheating on his wife, got all those daggone kids, married another one, cheated on her. Everybody in the church, it's crazy out here. But this is who women, the 92%, are listening to. Okay, because that whole church was filled, and you saw some of them blue-haired demons that be hanging around. You see them, right? That's who's there, the 92%, and this is where they're getting their political cues from. I was just talking about this yesterday. You have women listening to the pastors because the pastors play to their emotions. They don't listen to their men, but they'll listen to these pastors. Okay. Then they come back out in the world and they terrorize the rest of us because the pastor then told the 92% that they don't do anything wrong. Meanwhile, he's taking all of their money. He's dressing like that, talking about when he was living with his grandma. We know why. This is what you get when you live with your grandma in New York in the projects with roaches, I guess. This is what you get. This man right here. So I want to know what you guys think about that, right? So not just that, all right. You had a white pastor or preacher. I'm not sure the correct terminology, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But you had a white one doing the same thing. So I want you guys to get into this. Here we go.
Jesus was undocumented. Let me just say that again and let that sink in for just a moment. The very person we're celebrating today, the very one in whom we worship, was undocumented. Jesus was a refugee. Jesus knew what it was to flee in fear and to live as a stranger in a strange land. Jesus was that person. If Jesus came today in flesh and blood, would we even let him in? Would we let him cross our borders? Would we let him into our synagogues and sanctuaries? Or would he be met with a wall, a cage, or a flight out of the country to El Salvador?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm going to let you finish. I didn't listen to that all the way down. Okay. I didn't hear that. He snuck that in there. Or will he be met with a flight to El Salvador? It wouldn't have even been called El Salvador. This man is nuts. Oh, no. I'm going to go back.
Jesus was undocumented. Let me just say that again and let that sink in for just a moment.
Did that sink in for y'all? That Jesus was undocumented? What's going on, Donna? What's going on, Eric Holmes? Jesus is undocumented. He would have been met with a wall. He would have been met with a flight to El Salvador. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, when I be hearing this stuff, I really do be like laughing because it's almost like it's just the propaganda from the pulpit. It's just propaganda. Okay, you had the black church, the white church, like all of the churches. They're all doing the same thing. They're extra woke. Like, this is part of the dark woke. They didn't got the churches involved. They didn't got everybody involved. What'd you say, 2K? Protect the border. They stopping Jesus at the border. Oh, Lord. Yeah, this is what they're doing. What's up, AR? What's up, stop by say? Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing now for the church. All right, so I want to know what you guys think about that. All right, you have Pastor Jamal Bryant saying that the Republicans are roaches. We're all roaches. Okay, and we're going to scatter when the lights come on. All right, because he learned that when he was living with his grandma in New York. We're going to scatter when the lights come on. And you have this pastor here who's saying, y'all need to stop, because would y'all have did this to Jesus? Would y'all have put Jesus on a flight to El Salvador? Let me know in the comments. Let me read these super chats. Thank you, AR. I appreciate it. The $9.99 super chat. Anyone supporting these Democrats, I must seriously question their character. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I definitely question all their characters. Okay. Especially anybody who likes Roger Crockett. That tells me you like dry, ill-fitted wigs. That's not good for nobody. Thank you, AR. I appreciate it. Next super chat, Drew Beats. Thank you. $1.99. All I keep thinking is Dipset, Dipset, Jewels. That's what he looked like. He looked just like Cameron. He looked just like Cameron. Yep. That's why what he learned in New York too. I don't put it past him. Thank you guys for the super chats. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. So let's move on here. Let's move on to y'all's favorite person. Okay. Everybody's favorite person. Big Mike. I mean, Michelle. Y'all gonna get me. Let's move on to Michelle Obama. So look, Michelle Obama is the gift that keeps on giving, because to me, her podcast is trash because she's not really talking about like something I would want to hear about, but I think she's going to go down that road. I think she's getting there, right? Because it seems like, to me, more and more, she's starting to slide down that I want to talk about things road, especially with all these little ratchet people that she's bringing on. Like this episode, she had Taraji. So I think with somebody like Taraji and other people, your car, Barry looking down bad, stop. You're going to get me to laugh. However, I do think that she's going to go down that road. She's going to start talking about their business even more, to the point, because I'm already starting to think that she doesn't like him. Okay. Just from the couple of episodes I've already saw. Well, I take that back. The couple of clips, because I haven't watched one episode. Not one. But I want you guys to get into this clip where she talks about why she didn't go to President Trump. I'm sorry, not President Trump. What President Carter's funeral. Okay? Here we go.
My decision to skip the inauguration, you know, what people don't realize, or my decision to make choices at the beginning of this year that suited me, were met with such ridicule and criticism. Like, people couldn't believe that I was saying no for any other reason, that they had to assume that my marriage was falling apart.
Right.
You know, it's like, while I'm here really trying to own my life and intentionally practice making the choice that was right for me. And it took everything in my power to not do the thing that was right, or that was perceived as right, but do the thing that was right for me. That was a hard thing for me to do. I had to basically trick myself out of it. And it started with not having anything to wear. I mean, I had affirmatively, because I'm always prepared for any funeral, anything. I walk around with the right dress. I travel with clothes just in case something pops off. So I was like, if I'm not going to do this thing, I got to tell my team, I don't even want to have a dress ready. Right? Because it's so easy to just say, let me do the right thing.
But then you become a shock absorber. And that's what women are. They're shock absorbers. And that's exhausting. And it's not healthy. It is not healthy. You've had to be shock absorbers for your husband, for your children, for your mom, for your family, your loved ones, because of where you were sitting in the public eye. That's not fair to you. When do you ever get to live for you? I applaud you. I'm happy that you are taking care of yourself in the way that you need to.
What's she talking about? Like, what is she talking about? You guys tell me what she's talking about. I don't know what a shock absorber is. 2K. Yes, they already pissed me off. I don't know what a shock absorber is. Like, Taraji just be talking. And, you know, Taraji is a great actor, right? So when she talks, I can't take her seriously because I don't know whether she's acting or not. And then she got those big eyes that just water up real quick. She just be getting on my nerves, like, honestly. And then Michelle, every episode, she's talking about something that she didn't like or didn't want to do with Barack or didn't want to see Barack and don't like Barack for 10 years and don't like the, like, you have won the lottery, okay? Whether Michelle or Mike, whatever you are, you've won the lottery. You've won the lottery when it comes to quote unquote high value men, especially to the 92%. They love Barack Obama. But all you do is sit here and complain. You get to go and do a show talking about, I mean, nothing. Her and her brother. It might as well be Seinfeld. They're talking about nothing. And I'm sitting there like, this is the reason why you get to do this is because you are married to Barack Obama. And you just cry and complain, cry and complain, cry and complain. Like, it pisses me off so much. I agree. I agree, Jacqueline. Jane Doe, it is what it is. So if that wasn't enough, she had more to say because you know she can't stop there. So I want you guys to see what everything else that she had to say. What else she had to say. All right, here we go.
We don't articulate as Black women our pain because it's almost like nobody ever gave us permission to do that.
And does anyone care?
Yeah, there's
Will
that.
they care?
If
we
part.
knew, I think we would care. If we knew. If we knew.
Or, you know, yeah, and we have to ask ourselves, the men in our lives is, you know, why wait to be asked? You know, it seems like what we go through is pretty obvious. I mean, maybe we're not complaining, but we're actually living life out loud, you know? You know, we don't articulate as Black women our pain because it's almost like nobody ever gave us permission to do that.
And does anyone care?
Yeah, there's
Will
that.
they care?
If we knew, I think we would care. If we knew. If we knew.
Or, you know, yeah, and we have to ask ourselves, the men in our lives is, you know, why wait to be asked? You know, it seems like what we go through is pretty obvious. I mean, maybe we're not complaining, but we're actually living life out loud, you know?
So wait a minute. All right. Here's the first thing she just said. Why wait to be asked? Because we're not mind readers? Like I'm I'm trying to figure out why these women do this, because then I have to sit up on these platforms, okay, with people like Anton and Van. I have to sit on these platforms and represent women and fight this stuff. Well, they said, you know, they don't see your pain. I didn't say that. But you'll have a whole comment section under her. Yes, I understand what you're saying. What is she saying? I don't know what she's talking about. Because to me, women are very vocal. Half of the time it's nonsense, and some of the times it's good stuff, right? But women are very vocal. So I'm trying to figure out, what is she talking about? She said, and I quote, "Why wait to be asked?" And then her brother over there, okay, talks about, well, if we knew. What do you mean if you knew? Everybody knows. Everybody knows women like to complain. Everybody knows women are very vocal, even if, you know, it's not a complaint. If you knew, you know, okay? You just don't want to deal with it. And that's fine. But to have Michelle Obama sit here as if she's a victim when she has the best life anybody can ask for, it is so stupid to me. Like, I don't understand it. Correct, Jacqueline. It's a conversation that she needs to have with her husband. She needs to have most of the conversations with her husband. Let me tell you something, Jacqueline. Most of the conversations that she's having, that we get to react to, that we get to talk about, she needs to have with her husband. She doesn't. Oh, Miss Freckles, that's not ever happening. Because you have to have to do that, you have to have, you know, a certain meekness to you. All right. And these boss babes, they don't have that. So that's not ever going to happen. All right. Michelle is an intelligent woman, but at the end of the day, she is who she is because of her husband. And she thinks that's a slight. And I don't understand why. Like, your husband has ascended to one of the highest positions in the land, the highest. Okay? I'm not a Barack fan, but I respect the president. Like, he was the president. You know what, King? Yeah, but I do think she's jealous. I do think she's jealous. And I don't know why people want to compete, you know, with why women want to compete with their men. Like, for what? So you guys get down in the comments and let me know. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Michelle. Okay. All right. So, you guys, we got to get into a little bit of something that I like to call bald-headed reasoning. All right. There are some people, or some women in this land, that are under the tutelage of the Democratic Party, and they have just gone nuts. They have lost their minds. And as a result, they fall under bald-headed reasoning. Okay. So I want y'all to see exactly what I mean when I say these women have bald-headed reasoning. Here we go.
I've been talking about this all week, but Janae Nelson of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, she penned an op-ed in The Nation this week. And her op-ed talked about that we think that democracies are, the way they die is dramatically through these wars, and blood is shed, and it's cinematic in a sense. But really, the realistic way in which democracies die is that it's dismantled brick by brick, piece by piece. And she says that what we are seeing now with the lawlessness from this administration are really the canaries in the coal mine gasping for air. I'm paraphrasing here. But to me, That is why Kilmar Abrego Garcia's specific case, the case of the gentleman who's a makeup artist out of California who was also sent to that prison. That is why the 75% of the folks who have been sent, the men who have been sent there that don't have criminal records. That is why this is so important, because if they could do it to them, if they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. To be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
I think that's right. And that's certainly part of why the African-American community is so strongly behind the supporting Kilmar.
Yeah, we're like, we are not for this.
Yeah, because as you just said, if they're going to whisk them away, what are they going to do with us?
Y'all know everything she said is a bald-headed lie. It's a bald-headed lie. Everything. She not only said the Black community was supporting, what's his name? Kilmar. That's a hell of a name. The Black community supporting Kilmar. Since when? Since when? Kilmar was over here in Maryland, in Hinesville, Maryland. Don't no Black people live over there. It is all El Salvadorians. No Black people live over there. Not really. Especially since they changed the zoning. So I'm trying to figure out what Simone Saunders is talking about. It's always bald-headed reasoning with her. She always says something, outlandish. They replaced one with bald-headed reasoning with another, because she took, you guys remember, she took Joy Reid's spot. Okay? Joyless is gone, and then they add her. Bald-headed reasoning begets bald-headed reasoning. This doesn't make any sense to me. Like, because you take an MS-13 member and you put them back where they come from, okay, where he's homegrown at, you put them back there, and all of a sudden, now, it's a problem. Now she look like Bismarck. Y'all are terrible. That's why I don't look over there. Oh my God. But yes, this is what I mean. This is what I mean with the Democratic Party. And they support this stuff. All right. And the crazy part about it is you always have men on these panels, right? So with Simone Saunders, you have Michael Steele. Michael Steele used to be a Republican. He says he's still a Republican. I think he's a Democrat, but nevertheless, he never stops none of this stuff. He just lets it go. He keeps on keeping on. He lets it happen. She says whatever she wants, and half of the time it's just nonsense. And I'm just like, why does he do this? He knows that woman is nuts. However, it's not over. But let me get to the super chats really quick. All right. Here we go. All right, we have AR Smitty. Thank you. $9.99. If disingenuous were a person. Yeah, that would be Simone Saunders and the rest of the Democratic Party. They're all disingenuous. They're all, I don't know. I try to put Jasmine Crockett in the bald-headed reasoning category, but because she has the wig, I got to hold off on that. But she definitely has that mindset. Thank you, AR. All right. Shamar Williams, $5. Thank you so much. Women like Michelle are the definition of give a woman the world and she will still complain loud. Yes. Yes. Because I don't know what she's complaining about. Like, what would be her complaint? What is her problem? Not one thing. She can buy anything she wants. She can go anywhere she wants. She has security for life because she's a former first lady. Like, her kids are good. Like, I don't understand it. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you. $1.99 super chat. Tough for me to listen to a woman with a bald face. Especially, stop, I say, especially when it's a bald-headed lie. Because she's lying. Trump is not after African Americans. So thank you for the super chat. So I'm trying to figure out, why do they allow this? And this is why Donald Trump is suing these people now. You know, your CBS's, he sued ABC before, because they just allow things to go on. Now, you guys, we have to continue down this bald-headed reasoning train, because we have another offender. We have Ayanna Pressley, who's a repeat offender on this program. Okay? She is a repeat offender. Her and Ratchet Crockett all the time. They're repeat offenders. I want you guys to see what she had to say, because the Democrats are doubling down on, going to see criminals. Okay? They like to talk about that there's a felon in the White House, but they don't ever go see Trump, but they go see all the rest of these, criminals. They don't work with Donald Trump, but they'll work with an MS-13. They don't, they want to check everything that Donald Trump is doing, but the senator from Maryland, okay, Mr. Van Hollen, didn't even ask if he was an MS-13 member. But Ayanna Pressley, she definitely goes over, because she's the Miss, I'm going to bring back reparations when they never had reparations. I'm going to bring back HR 40 that just studies it like Kamala does. Okay? She's a repeat offender of bald-headed reasoning, and I want you guys to see it. Here we go.
They have not been convicted of any crime. They have simply been disappeared from their communities, separated from their families, and they have been kidnapped. They are political prisoners, and they are now being warehoused, where they are experiencing medical neglect, sleep deprivation, inadequate meals. The trauma and the fear is palpable. This is chilling. It is harrowing. And of course, that is the point. The cruelty is the point. And they mean to stoke fear in all of us, so that people will stop exercising their constitutional rights to free speech. They have not been convicted of any crime. They have simply been disappeared from their communities, separated from their families.
What was that movie back in the day, y'all? The Coneheads. Yes, that's what it's given. It definitely. I don't understand this. I don't understand this at all. They take our tax dollars and fly down to Baton Rouge. They take our tax dollars and fly down to El Salvador, and they stay. Meanwhile, we're in a deficit here in Maryland. Okay? Like, Maryland is, when I tell you, it is one of the highest tax states. It's taxed for everything. It's becoming, New York, New Jersey. You might as well put it up there. Like, we're taxed for everything. We were in a surplus under the Republican governor, but now we're not. Okay? We have some of the highest crimes, especially here in the DMV area, because of MS-13. And they want to go down there to El Salvador. And then this one here, who she's talking about, are the two people that came here on those student visas and decided that they were going to do a protest. I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against protest. However, I do have something against people who want to cause destruction and who are violent. And if you are on a student visa, if you're undocumented, I'm thinking you need to lay low, right? But no, because they knew in this country, because of Kamala and Jim Crow Joe, that they will be able to get away with this nonsense. And that's what they're doing. They just do whatever they want. Meanwhile, you do the smallest thing and you got to go. You drive without a license. You gone. Meanwhile, okay, Abrego Garcia, he's down there in Tennessee driving with 19 people in a Hyundai. Now, it's hard to get two people in that regular Hyundai. He had 19. He had 19 people in that Hyundai. I ain't lying to y'all. and got stopped for trafficking. Okay? He got stopped for trafficking. So you got all of these things going on. And this is the hill y'all choose to die on. Yeah, I told y'all, I lied to y'all not. It was a Hyundai. It was a Hyundai. They stopped him. Okay, all you seen was feet, legs, heads, because everybody was piled up. Do that here. See what happens. Just do it. Your regular self. Do that here. Your child can't even stand up in the car before they pull you over. When I tell you these Democrats, they're going to die on this hill, they're going to die on this hill. And this is what they're doing. All right. So you guys get down in the comments, in the chat, and tell me what y'all think about, our little bald-headed reasoning segment here with Ayanna Pressley, the repeat offender, and Simone Saunders. Okay. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me go ahead and read this super chat really quick. Thank you, Miss Freckles. How you doing, girl? You got all that hair. See, my fans and my supporters and everybody that they don't have bald-headed reasoning. Hey, girl, keep keep setting the right example and humble example, Mika. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, you guys. So I want to move on because I'm gonna just keep clowning. I swear to goodness. I want to move on to celebrities. All right. And the reason why I want to move on to celebrities, because I've worked with a lot of celebrities in the music industry, and I'm telling you right now, some of them get on my last nerve. Like, some of them really do. All right. However, some of them are really cool. Some of them, I love their music, but I'm tired of celebrities kind of speaking on politics. Because one, I want to like your music. If I like you, and I want to keep it that way. Once I hear the usual liberal talking points and not really giving me any substance of why you don't like somebody, I tune out, and I'll probably end up tuning out, out of your music. And I don't want to do that. So I just wish, most of them would stay quiet. Same with the actors. However, most of Hollywood is liberal, so they're going to talk. But when I heard this, I said the nerve of this celebrity. All right. I want you guys to see what this celebrity had to say. Because once you see who it is, you're already going to be like, the nerve. Look, here we go.
Made a decision that I strongly disagree with. And it seems that we are reaping the whirlwind right now, putting someone who is a terrible leader, especially in crisis. He's already out blaming people, misinforming people, dividing people, when a smart and responsible and good political way to handle it would have been to bring people together.
Oh, absolutely. That's what you want.
Be a comforter in chief,
Why do you think that he's latched on to diversity so much?
Oh, he's a bigot, so. It's a belief that there's a hierarchy of racial groups and that his group is superior, genetically superior. He believes that.
Right.
Whenever he talks about competence and qualifications, any white man will do for him. Look at the last guy who was Secretary of Defense. He was a 4-star general, supremely qualified black man. And then see who he puts in after him. That's the level of bigotry that he has. Any white man is better than that.
I guess you got that same bigotry any white woman would do, because you get the one with the dirty tub. Y'all remember her dirty tub? Okay. This is the same woman. Y'all remember? PEDO. Those tweets. Y'all remember? Correct. That's his wife, right? The nerve. How does he talk about anybody? And with the latest tweets of Kanye, I understand why John Legend got on. I understand how he got on. Okay. The nerve. The nerve of this man. And he's trying to say, yes, a whole weirdo. His wife, a whole weirdo. And then the nerve of this man to say that, you know, he's a bigot. What is Donald Trump a bigot about? What has he been a bigot about? What does he lie about? Okay? What does he lie about? You know he tans. You know he gets orange. Kamala lied about a whole race. That woman don't know nothing about collard greens, ain't been black, not never. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what is what is wrong with these celebrities. Why do they keep trying to cape for Kamala? And then he's even wrong about the attorneys, not the attorney general, the Secretary of Defense. Okay? Because here's the thing. Up until Donald Trump, most of them did come from being 4 or 5-star generals. Okay? And Donald Trump had that the last time. He didn't want it because they went against him. That's why he didn't want it. It's not any white man. It's I want the person that I know is going to help me achieve what I need to achieve. But how the Democrats take it is, oh no, he just wants white men in. I don't care what man he puts in, as long as he gets it done. And it seems like the Democrats, they only want diversity just so they can get equity. Okay? Because there's nothing inclusive about what the Democrats want. Okay? Because if you're not a victim, they don't want you in their group. So what are we talking about? But yeah, that's the celebrities. Okay? John Legend. Now, last but not least, I want to get into the Democrats and them talking about Social Security. I'm so sick of them talking about Social Security because they know it's fraud and abuse in Social Security. They know it's wastefulness in Social Security, and especially Medicare. However, they have this whole thing going on right now called Hands Off. I want you guys to see this foolishness from the worst offender of lies. Okay? The worst offenders. And the one that is number one is none other than herself, Pocahontas. Okay? There she go. The Indian princess herself. All right? I want y'all to see what she had to say about Elon Musk and Trump, per usual.
You might have heard that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are taking a chainsaw to your Social Security. So let's talk about it.
So what have Donald Trump and Elon Musk done to Social Security so far?
Donald Trump and Elon Musk are saying 78% of the people they want to fire are the folks working in those field offices to help people across this country when they have a problem. This is Donald Trump and Elon Musk working together as co-presidents to keep people from getting the Social Security benefits that they earned and they were promised by law.
Can Trump and Musk actually do this?
No, not legally. Congress established Social Security, and only Congress can cut benefits officially. But Trump and Musk are so determined to cut people's access to Social Security, they're trying a backdoor way. They're making it harder and harder and harder and harder for people to get the Social Security benefits that they earned and that the law says that they have a right to. That's what they're up to. Now is the time. Stand up for Social Security.
Jacqueline, I don't either. I don't understand the Democrats at all. Not this line 304. This is like this woman right here just sat up there and said, hey, what are they doing with Social Security? Oh, well, they're firing everybody. So, it makes it harder for them to send out your benefits. How does that even go? The benefits are electronic. What does that have to do with anything? Like, they just sit up here and lie and lie and lie and lie. What they need to talk about is how it's not only a Ponzi scheme, there won't be any money in it for anybody else. Like, we're hoping the boomers, but more than likely they'll be the last generation on that. Maybe some of Gen X, but that's it. Not unless you actually fix it and make it more efficient. So they have this campaign called Hands Off Social Security. So that was Pocahontas's, version of it. So now I want you to see what the Dems are out here doing with their little picket signs and how they're talking about they want you to stay off their Social Security. All right. Here we go. And it's always the male Democrats. Like, it's so cringe.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to do is very sneaky. They are not going to say that they're cutting Social Security benefits. Instead, what they are doing is they're making it impossible for the Social Security Administration to process the benefits. They're doing that by cutting offices. They're doing that by cutting staff. And keep in mind, the administrative costs for Social Security are 1% of the Social Security budget. That is not how you cut costs for the Social Security program. Yet they are doing that. And then on top of it, they're saying to seniors that you have to go into these offices that no longer exist in order to get your questions answered. Now, in large part because of advocacy from folks like this, from the senator, from me and our colleagues in Congress and over in the Senate, our voices have pushed back. And they are now ensuring that phone service, at least nominally, is available. But of course, the phone service can be 3 or 4 hours. So this is how they are taking away your benefits. They're not saying that they're taking away your benefits. They are just making it impossible.
Did y'all get that? I don't get it. Nobody has actually said that he's taking it away. They're talking about firing people. They're talking about workers. They're talking about all of these things, but they're not talking about taking away actual money. Stop it. Get some help. All of them. They got to. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What's up, Jay? It's absolutely ridiculous. I didn't hear it. I was just wondering, did y'all hear it? I heard the same thing that I heard with Pocahontas over there. Okay. Nothing. They're just talking about getting rid of people. At this point, the Democrats don't have anything to run on. Okay. So today we saw Elizabeth Warren and the Democrats talk about Social Security. Nothing. We heard from Simone Sanders. Nothing. Okay. She's run 2 Democratic campaigns. And then she even skipped from Joe Biden to Kamala. Okay. I don't know why Kamala wanted her on that campaign. She should have known it was going to go south. However, she went over there. All right. She's talking about absolutely nothing. No messaging. Got it. Cool. Ayanna Pressley. Nothing. Not talking about anything. We know Ratchet Crockett isn't talking about anything. Okay. The fact that she thinks a rocket scientist is dumb tells you all you need to know. He can do rocket math, get rockets to land themselves. She can't even find the circumference to take the measurements of her head and get a fitted wig. It takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes. But Elon is dumb. I got you. What I'm trying to say is everything with the Democratic Party is foolery. Everything is foolery. They have no common sense. They don't want you to have common sense. And the voters, they fall for it every time. Every damn time. I swear to goodness. My little short that went viral, I was surprised that short went viral because it was something that I thought everybody knew. Barack Obama sent more illegals home. And they were arguing this. I said, yeah, this goes to show you that the left and their constituents do not care. They do not care. They don't care about anything that actually makes sense. So I don't even argue with these people. So, that is all I had to share with you guys today. I try not to hold y'all for too long, but I'm telling you right now, these are the things that I see. When I do these lives, these are the things that I see throughout the day. And then I have to have discernment and pick what I want to do, videos on. But it's so much nonsense. Okay? Big Mike always talking about stuff. All the time. Okay? Ratchet Crockett, I have to turn down her stuff. Because it's so much. It's so much nonsense. And the fact that there's 49 million people, 48 million people that voted for that woman that puts greens in the bathtub. And that's now asking for AOC to be president. And that's now asking for Ratchet Crockett to go everywhere because she's good for the party. I don't know about y'all, but some of these people, they just should not vote. But I could be wrong. So you guys get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe, share if you care. I appreciate you all for pulling up. It's a long night for me because I am going to be, if you guys are going to be up that late, I'm going to be over at After Hours with Anton Daniels. So if you guys are up that late and want to check me out more later, you can check me out over there. All right. I appreciate everybody that pulled up. Thank you, as always. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. Thank you to everybody that commented. Thank you to everybody that hit the like button. I didn't get my little I gotta clip up that lady. That lady that says 200K. I gotta clip her up. That way I can have it in here. But I appreciate everybody here. It's your girl Mika, and I'm out.